So today we are going to cover the 5 things you want to look for when looking for purchase lease option deals, PLOs as we like to call them. So first and foremost, I would like to say before we start is if you are in need of any of the free tools and resources that we offer, then please help yourself to them. In the show notes, you will see a free deal analyzing spreadsheet to stack those deals to see if they are deals that you want to take. You will also see a 10-step guide to building a rent-to-rent business, which I like people to go. That gives you good foundations in any sort of property strategy that you are doing. And we have a viewings guide as well, which tells you what to say, what not to say, and what to be looking for when doing your viewings. All free to you, so help yourself to those. Also, you can visit www.thepropertyunleashed.com website and you can access any of those free tools there. And of course, there is the Property Unleashed podcast as well. So just have a look at those and see if any of those are of any use to you. So let's go through the 5 steps when looking for purchase lease options, PLO deals. Step number 1 is all about getting on the portals, the RIGHTMOVEs, the ZOOPLAs, and any other ones that are really good in your area, and also the estate agents' websites. You want to be looking for properties that are up for sale and also up for rent. Okay, why are we doing that? Well, that's because that is a motivated seller. And when you're trying to look and do property deals, you want to be looking for motivated sellers. You want to be looking for sellers who have a pain point, who maybe need to sell a property quickly. Now, in many cases, purchase lease options won't work all the time. And one of the caveats that I will say to that is, please do not try and use purchase lease options as your main strategy in property investing. Why, you ask? Because not every deal will be a purchase lease option. For me, in my toolkit and my arsenal of knowledge of knowing how to do property deals, it is a tool that you can use. You can come into the right situation, into the right property, and you can say, this is a purchase lease option deal. Why? Because they don't need the money now. They're not looking for a quick sale. They're looking for a hassle to be taken away. So by me coming in, paying them a fee, a bit like rent to rent, if you like a guaranteed rent, so to speak, but looking after the property as if it is my own, I can take that hassle and problem away from the vendor. They can get on with their lives and I can take this property on as if it's my own and agree to buy it at a later date. So a purchase lease option, different from a rent to rent, is all about, and in some cases it's very similar. You're going to offer normally a guaranteed rent to the vendor. You're going to take the property on and manage it yourself. So if it's an HMO, you're going to manage your rooms out. If it's a single let, you can still do it as a single let and let that out to a family or just a couple. Or of course you can turn it into serviced accommodation as well. So it depends. A good thing about purchase lease option is you can use it on pretty much any property that you want to use it on. So it is a great tool to be able to use in your property investing arsenal. So again, we're looking for properties that are for sale and for rent because there's a real need that the landlord not necessarily wants to sell it now, but they need somebody to take it on and start paying the rent. Maybe they're a bit behind on the mortgage payments. Maybe they're just struggling to make the payments because it's empty. There's an underlying issue with the property and we need to find out what that is. So that leads me on to tip number 2, which is finding, if you find these properties and you're in these properties, we need to find the pain point. We have to be property problem solvers. So we need to be going in, we need to be listening to the estate agents, we need to be listening to the vendors, and we need to be seeing what their pain point is. And if their pain point is that maybe they've got an HMO they just can't fill, a house of multiple occupation where you rent it out by the rooms that they just cannot fill, and they're losing money all the time, and they're actually having to put their own money into the mortgage payments, into the running of the property, and of course their money's dwindling down. You can basically have a look at that. Being the property professionals that we are, we can see if there's a way we can change things, a way that we can move things around, maybe give it some decoration, maybe put some nicer furniture in there, maybe tweak and change a few things as being property problem solvers and make it so that it's rentable, in which case then we can get involved, we can make our money and they can make their money as well. If they don't need the money right now, so some people may be saying, I want to sell a property for a specific reason. Maybe they need a big lump of cash. Maybe they're looking to buy something else. A purchase lease option is not going to work then, unless that amount of money is such that you can actually afford to give them that lump of money whilst also doing the deals. Caveat to that as well, when you're doing rent to rent, you use lease agreements, you use management agreements. When you do a purchase lease option, it's a completely different contract. You need to have two sets of solicitors involved when you're doing a purchase lease option, one that represents you and one that represents the vendor. Now, I would recommend that you make sure that you're using property professional solicitors. And if you ever need any property professional solicitors, or are pointing in the right direction, please reach out to me and I'll send you details of guys and girls that I've used who are specialists in these sort of things. If you use a regular solicitor, you may struggle. They may struggle as well. They'll do their best job and they may very well tell you that they can do it, but if they don't completely understand it, that deal can fall completely out of bed just because they don't know what they don't know. So they just don't know what they're doing. Okay, so make sure that we're putting everybody in the right places and that we're putting all the pieces to the jigsaw together in the right manner. So step number 3, like I say, if you found out the problem, we need to see in step 3 if we can give them a quick fix. So like I say, it's finding out the problem. It's making sure that we've got a solution for it. And not every time will we have a solution for it to be a purchase lease option. And if that is the case, sometimes it's nicer just to point them in the right direction. Don't try and force the deal. Don't try and force the issue. Point them in the right direction if you can. And what goes around in life comes around. You know, you will get those deals. You will get these deals coming towards you. But the one thing is, it's great being behind a computer screen, looking for these sorts of deals. We have to get out there. We have to do viewings. We have to talk to people. We have to see what the pain points are and whether or not we can help and work with these people. So tip number 4 is see how long the property has been on the market for. If it's been on the market with an agent or it's got multiple agents trying to sell it, then it potentially is because they need the money. But if it's been on the market for a while or it's been with a specific letting agent or estate agent for a while, then it's worth just talking to that estate agent about it. What is the details on this property? What is the problem? Why hasn't it sold? And what do the vendors want? Now, an estate agent is going to be more in tune to work with you if you say, you know, we look for properties like this, we look to solve the problems on these, and we make sure that we can do it in such a creative manner that you get your fees, because obviously until that estate agent has sold the property, they're not getting paid. Do you know what I mean? So they want to work with you, they want to get paid. So as long as you assure them that, well, no matter what happens, whatever the outcome is, whether you buy the property now, you buy the property in 5 years' time, which you can do with purchase lease options, they're going to get paid no matter what. Now, I wouldn't go into that too much. I would just say that we're here to make sure that you get your fees no matter what. So if you did a purchase lease option, you still want to make sure that you can pay the estate agent their fees, keep them on side, and also it'll keep them wanting to bring those sorts of deals towards you. And wouldn't we all like that? Wouldn't we all like estate agents ringing us up, giving us deals, giving us the heads up on deals, making us the property professional in our area? Now, whether or not we do those deals or not is a different matter. In which case then, you can always look to package those deals up and pass them on to other investors for maybe a small fee. Now, that's a completely different strategy, but if you're just doing the odd deal here and there and you're working with specific investors, you can easily set yourself up in the right manner with the right compliances to be able to pass on a few leads and get yourself a small fee for just being that middle person and doing the right thing and working with people. Okay, so it's about making sure that we solve the vendor's problems, and it's about making sure that we also look for the estate agent's problems. And if they're not getting paid, they're worried about the vendor taking that property to another estate agent. They manage to sell it. They lose all the commission, they lose the money and time and effort that they put into it, and we can potentially help them with that. So tip number 5 really is maybe removing the estate agent. Don't just rely on estate agents, you want to be marketing yourself. So if you are doing a rent to rent, or you're looking for rent to rent HMOs or anything like that, you know, a lot of my students, when they send out their marketing, when they're working with me, I recommend that they also put in the letters that they're potentially looking to buy properties. So if the vendors may be looking to sell the property, then we will come in and see if we can help them with that as well. Because it's very easy to turn a rent to rent into a purchase lease option. You've pretty much done all the legwork. All you need to do is negotiate, obviously, the price, the terms, and there's loads of different ways you can do that. So I'm helping a student at the moment who's looking at potentially doing a rent to rent and then turning it into a purchase lease option later on, or potentially getting that all locked in at the beginning of it. And it's very exciting and something that I love to do. And that is through the Rent to Rent Business Builder program. So if you are looking at getting into property and you want my help and support on anything, then please have a look at that or reach out to me. More than happy to talk to you about that. More than happy to see if I can help you and move you forward on your property investing journey. But if you are going to get out there and you're going to start marketing to your own vendors, you want to be looking at HMO landlords where you can get hold of the register. You can send them a letter and keep sending them nice letters to see if they're ever interested in selling or potentially renting to you long term. You can also, of course, go for properties that are just on the market using the land registry where you pay £3 to find out who the owner is. You can market to those guys as well. Now that can be long-winded. You don't want to be doing hundreds and hundreds of properties, obviously. But if you find a few of the right properties, it doesn't, for £3, get the details, market to them and see what they come back with. At the end of the day, if you're interested in buying it, they're interested in selling, there's no harm done. You are looking to be their customer, so everything is good. Networking as well can be another great place or opportunity to meet landlords. So go to property networking events, go to business networking events as well, because you'll find a lot of business people, a lot of business owners own property. They've invested in buy-to-lets, they've invested in HMOs, and they may be willing to work with you. They may be having enough, they may be looking to get out in the future. And of course, if they're business people, they're quite savvy as well, hopefully. You may be able to strum up a good deal with them. You may be able to structure a purchase lease option with those guys and girls as well. I would also recommend that you just ask people. So when you're out there, you're doing viewings now, whether or not you're looking to do rent to rent, whether or not you're looking to do buy, refurbish, refinance, or whatever strategy it is you're looking to do, never be afraid to just ask the estate agents, ask the vendors. If you're potentially speaking to somebody who's looking to sell their property, it's just a quick question to say, are you looking for the money now? Have you got a plan for the money when you sell this, if you don't mind me asking? Or is it just a hassle that you want to remove? Because there's a few different ways that we can structure this deal so that we make it a massive win for you and obviously make it a bit easier for us to be able to purchase as things are going through. You can say, we're very busy at the moment, but we're really interested in this property, so we'd love to lock a deal in with you, which removes all the hassle and makes sure that on your terms, you're very happy with what we can do. And then we can structure it in such a way that it works for us and it's smooth sailing. It's a win-win for everybody. And if you've watched any of my other videos or you've listened to me before, you know it's all about a win-win. It's about making sure that they're happy and satisfied and they've got what they need, and also that we have as well. No good one party getting all of the good stuff and the other one being left in the cold. That's not how we want to work. As I always say, and I've said it loads of times, what goes around comes around in life. So make sure that you're offering above and beyond service, but you're not leaving yourself short when it comes to the deals. So I hope these 5 points have helped you. I could go on all day about these because I love purchase lease options. By doing the rent to rent strategy, I love the fact that I can shoehorn these sort of deals into whatever it is I'm doing. And like I say, if you need a hand with any of this, then feel free to reach out for me. Look me up on social media, have a look at those free guides, and see what else we can help you with potentially moving forward. So thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you in the next video. You take care of yourself and bye for now.